Hello guys, my name is Venti and today I'm going to be talking to you about CCTV surveillance. This issue has been talked about to death, and like everyone knows like what the issue is about. Is generally um whether you're allowed liberality and like greater risk, or you're controlled and people are able to prevent, like the government is able to prevent things like terrorist attacks and you know mass shootings or something by tracking what you do online, what you say over the phone, all that sort of stuff. Um, and people obviously have problems with this, that it's an invasion of privacy. So there's like, two sort of groups. It's like the first group is we should not do this because it's an invasion of privacy, and that's not right. And the second group is, you know, I'd rather be the unlucky guy that gets his fucking nude photos revealed rather than the unlucky guy that gets in the middle of a mass shooting in fucking Tennessee or something, you know? Um, and I was generally in the second camp until I spoke with someone and they pointed out to me the flaw in my point of view, that if there was a corrupt government, they could always use this CCTV surveillance um, to to spy on us, right? To control us, like in the book 1984. And while he is right, if there was a corrupt government in power, first they would be able to spy on us in, like they'd be able to force laws to spy on us. They wouldn't even need laws. If they can oppress the people, they can just spy on us illegally and we can't do shit, right? It's how Putin controls Russia with like censoring news, censoring media in general. It's like I don't know about North Korea, to be honest, too much, if they like spy on people through CCTV surveillance or anything. But I'd imagine they do. They oppress their media again. Um, so there are many ways to achieve that purpose. And the second argument is, just like with North Korea and Russia to a lesser extent, they're not really they they're corrupt, but they're not really a dictatorship. They don't really classify, in my opinion. But with North Korea, who are an outright dictatorship, it's not like just because this one country started it, now America's gonna become a dictatorship as well because they want to control their people. No, like if a certain government becomes corrupt, they will be treated as like outcasts from the rest of the modern world, like shit like NATO and stuff. Wow, that sounded fucking intellectual. Shit like NATO and stuff. Um, but yeah, my point is that that wouldn't catch on, it'd just be this one country and it would be until the regime was overthrown. And obviously there's going to be corrupt governments and dictatorships all over the world, and there's nothing really we can do about it. It just sort of happens, it's like you can't prevent it unless you start a fucking war, or unless the whole fucking family dies. But the point is that that's not really an answer. But anyways, people could go back and forth on this issue, and the point is that there's no clear-cut answer, right? Um, there's no right answer that most people agree with. It's generally a very divisive issue, and people are generally split like 50-50 on it. Um, and it comes down to like your own preference, how you live your life, and what your values are in life. Um, and there's no clear-cut answer, but the interesting point of view that I wanted to raise here in this video is AI, right? AI is something that's developing right now, artificial intelligence, and when it gets to a point where it's so good that it can transcribe speech onto paper and like get it correct within 100% of the time. Now I might like that'd be good, right? Because then they can transcribe phone calls and like write them down on paper and then data mine for words like bombs and um bombings, terrorist attacks, stuff like that, and they could filter out a lot of things. But the problem with that is that a lot of it is jokes. Like probably 99% of it is people just fucking on Messenger, fucking about, like trying to make their friends laugh by being silly or like or something like that, or me talking about it in a video, right? If they're wiretapping my mic, that's what they'd hear, my fucking dumbass video. It wouldn't be an actual terrorist attack. So that means that the AI right now is not very good. The AI gets good enough to apply my argument or my point of view when the AI is able to take into consideration the context and even the tone of the speaker's voice into consideration, and the AI all by itself, because like if people just data mine for things and like 99% of the time they find something that's useless, not only does it waste like fucking time and is very inefficient, and like we're not ever gonna be able to find any bombers using it. Not only that, but also the arguments come back. What if my ex is working in the CIA and I don't know, and he finds out that I have an affair with my current lover, and then he shows it to him, and now my life is ruined. Ooh, it's like, yeah, that will happen. So um, the way to solve this is to develop AI so it's so good that it can judge the tone of someone's voice to decide if he's being sarcastic or if he's joking, if he is, being serious about a terrorist attack or not. And second, evaluate the context of the person saying bombing. Like look at the sentence, look at the previous two sentences before he said bombings, look at the two sentences after, and be able to decide whether he's serious or not based on the context of what the person was saying. So I think to the point when AI gets that good, and it's not close, like we've got a lot more work to do. Um, but the point when it gets that good, then we can just like, you know, switch on the AI, tell it, yo, AI, listen to these phone calls and tell us whenever there's something wrong. And if you're thinking, yeah, but like there'd be a lot of problems implementing that, and like people wouldn't want computers to control everything, to control such valuable information, such what's the word? And anyways, if you're of that opinion, then like you're dumb because that's exactly how credit card transactions work right now. If you go on Amazon and you buy a pair of shoes, when you pay for it, Amazon doesn't look at the card. Barclays doesn't look at the card. Nike, or say the Nike shoes, Nike doesn't look at the card, right? Nobody looks at the card except a machine. That's what the HTTPS stands for on like the left side of your link. If it has HTTPS, that means that there's a computer looking at all these card details and not a human being. A computer that's specifically programmed to compare your details to the database that it has, and anyone trying to intercept it cannot because it's encrypted. So if we apply the same logic to this situation, if we have a computer, if we have an AI looking at all our means of communication, like on Messenger, like shooting up school, like on like uh, I'm sorry, if you have like a computer looking through like direct conversations and like text between people, phone calls, stuff like that. Even like say discussions in the living room through like the speakers on your laptop or your TV or something. If you have all these things and a computer is listening to all of these things, then you're safe, right? Because no one can abuse the information. A corrupt government cannot be spying on you because they would not be able to hear what you're talking about. Only the computer is able to hear it, and no one else, just the computer, right? So no dangers of a corrupt argument, of a corrupt government. No dangers of like your ex finding out that you're having an affair with a new lover, and then he tells your current boyfriend and he dumps you. There's no, and we solve the problem because an AI is very efficient, remember, and an AI can listen through a 10-hour phone call in like 10 seconds. It's like very efficient, and it can go through all these things really quickly. So it gives us a lot of time to prevent these things. And yeah, it's just an interesting point of view that not many people are talking about. So it's one of the many good benefits of AI. Like that's the thing with AI. People think, ooh, computers. I type something into the keyboard and then something happens. But it's a lot more than that. Computing is a great power, and when we start to go deeper into AI, we will see a lot of these things and how they can be applied to abstract issues that we never thought they could be. So I think that's kind of cool. And I decided to make a video about it, and now the video's over. Bye.